All right. And thank you for listening to the podcast. Okay. Girlfriend was unwillingly married. What? All right. Dear Billy Psycho Tits. I don't know what that means, but I like that one. I'm 25 years old and finally found the girl of my dreams. Well, good for you, dude. You found her pretty young. She's 23 years old. Smart. Super attractive. And we have been in a relationship for the last 9 months. I don't even have the urge to go to bars and sleep with women anymore. She has me all types of screwed up. It's amazing. My family loves her, especially my father, who never gives a shit about my relationships. She's from Yemen and is Muslim. And although she doesn't really follow the religion, she's forced to by her parents. That being said, one weekend last month, she told me her sister was having an arranged marriage and she was headed to the wedding. I did not hear from her for 3 days. She finally contacted me back after I constantly reached out to her, and she told me we had to talk. Oh, no. Once we met up, she told me she was unwillingly married off to a man from Yemen and that she had no idea this was going to happen. Oh, my God. Is this real? Is this a Lifetime script? She told me that since her parents signed the marriage documents, she really had no choice in her religion. In God's eyes, she's married. She made it clear that she was in love with me and that she wanted to be with me. Is that fucking chick who punches herself in the chest going to start singing at this point? What's her name? She does the casino gigs. She's from Canada. She sang the Titanic song, right? Leonardo DiCaprio on the front of a ship. Whatever the fucking song. No, that's In the Arms of the Angel. That's about rescue dogs. What fucking song? Oh, yeah. Near, far, where... Ugh. How much does she fucking hate that song? Having to sing that to a bunch of casino dope sitting there in flip-flops, getting teared up, you know? Anyways, she made it clear with me. She made it clear that she was in love with me and that she wanted me to be with me only. She told me she pleaded with her parents, but they wouldn't budge. We then came up with a date that if her parents still wouldn't budge, she would just move in with me out of her parents' home and we would figure it out together. During the week after, text messages turned to about 3 messages a day, and I did not get to see her at all. Even if you made this up, this is an incredible story. I then got a message from her best friend, and she told me that my girlfriend was lying to me. Oh, now who do you believe? She told me that my girl had been engaged since she was 16 years old. Her new husband is forcing himself to try to fuck her, and she is threatening her and is threatening her with violence. All right, dude, this is going outside the realm of my silly little podcast here. As well as taking her away her phone. She does make it clear that my girl does love me with all her heart, but will never leave due to her parents disowning her if she decides to leave this marriage. What the fuck? What period? The period? Fuck period. I immediately contact my girl, and she admits to everything. She told me she knew about the wedding beforehand and doesn't think she could do that to her family. He's trying to have sex with her, but she cries, and then he just stops. Oh, boy. Well, you know what? I commend that other guy. You know what I mean? Any guy who can plow through a woman crying... It's just a fucking animal that needs to be shot in the back of the fucking head. So this guy's actually not a bad guy, I don't think. He's just wrapped up in the fucking custom. Jesus Christ. Gotta love religion, everybody. I have no idea what to do. She won't go against her parents, but she loves me, and she's just given up. She was such a strong and tough person. Now she's just going with the unwilling. Maybe she should just keep crying, and that guy's decent enough to do to just be like, all right, you know, fuck this. Her friend told me she's depressed and doesn't have the fight in her. Currently, she's blocked my friends, our mutual friends, and our family off from social media. My family and friends have been calming me down. This guy who thinks he owns my girl would get American History X curb stomp if I find out he lays a hand on her. All right, this stopped being funny like at least 9 paragraphs ago. Like, I usually have like lighthearted, funny shit here. But that might also complicate things for her. Yeah, if you murdered the guy, absolutely. Anyways, I love your podcast. Don't stop what you're doing and go fuck yourself. I don't believe that story. I'm not saying shit like that doesn't happen, but I don't believe that someone would write this level of serious shit into me. Yeah, I don't. That got a little too fucking sensational for me. Not saying that shit like that doesn't happen, but if that actually is true, I don't know why you're writing to this podcast. I think at that point you need to write to. I'm going to say is wrong. Is it Liam Neeson or Liam Neeson? That fucking guy. You need to write to that guy and find out who wrote the scripts and the words that he said, and then find out what they based that off of, and gradually go back and find whoever the fuck Liam Neeson is pretending to fucking be. I should know who that guy's fucking name is, right? Considering I act every once in a while, I should know who one of the best guys out there. Liam Neeson. Oh. Liam Neeson. He's born in 1952. Jesus Christ, that guy's like 63 fucking years old, and I still wouldn't fuck with him. Not even remotely. You know, there's certain actors that play a character, and you're like, he's just pretending to be a tough guy. Then there's other people where you're just like, I think that guy could really beat the shit out of me. You're just on the ground. When does the scene end, Liam? All right. Calling girlfriend a cunt. Hey, Bill, hope fatherhood is treating you well if it finally happened. Has not happened yet. Recently, my girlfriend was being very unreasonable and running her mouth about something, and I said she was being a cunt. Didn't call her a cunt, rather acting like one. You know what? There is a loophole there. There is a loophole there, but when you drop the C word, it's very difficult. Like, I've never called my wife a bitch, ever. I've never done it. The entire time I've been, I never called her that once. One time I did say that she was acting like one. And she brought that up for like fucking 3 years because she knew how important it was to me to never call her that. And we got into a fight, and then she pushed my buttons trying to get me fucking more and more mad, because that's what they do. And they're not doing it maliciously. That's how they fight. Most of them. Where guys go, what'd you fuck you say? And then you start fucking fist fighting. Women usually don't get to that level. So their fist fighting is they've already broken you down psychologically, and they just try to make you as mad as they can. And if you're with a cool woman, they'll take responsibility for that, and they'll eventually forgive you. So anyways, all right. So you said that she was acting like one. Okay. Since then, she's had her panties in a twist and thinks I owe her an apology. I haven't given her one. My thoughts are that if anyone, male or female, is acting like a cunt, I can call them a cunt. What's your thoughts on calling women a cunt, and have you gotten into trouble for calling a woman a cunt? I've never done that to a woman that I've dated. Have I ever called a woman a cunt? You know, it's funny. As much as I use that word, I don't think I've ever done that. No, I don't do the name calling thing. As angry as I am, have I ever done that? I've definitely been like, yeah, fuck you, you fucking psycho. I've done that, but I don't do the fucking those classics. I don't break out the classics. I don't say bitch, cunt. I don't say any of that. Yeah, I don't. I just don't. I saw that early on in my life that doesn't work, and I saw what it does to a relationship. I just saw it. I had a paper route when I was a kid, so you get to step into a lot of people's homes and watch a little movie trailer, and a lot of times you're walking up to the house, and you can hear the director's cut of what's going on before you went in there. So I saw a lot of that. Being from Massachusetts, there was a lot of hotheads. And I don't know. As much as a dick as I am, I've never done that. And I can tell you that It gets you nowhere. So, and the stubborn thing that you're doing right now, that you're not apologizing for it, is going to cause her to dig her heels in. And what you're doing is you're creating this toxic fucking cesspool in your relationship. Okay? You could have said a bunch of other words and you went to DEFCON 5 or whatever the fuck. Is it 1? Is 1 the worst or is 5 the worst? Whatever the worst one. You went nuclear on her. I think you should apologize. And just say, for the record, I didn't say you were a cunt. I respect you enough to not call you a cunt. I just said you were acting like one. Okay? I won't do that in the future. I was wrong. And don't even defend you. Just say, I apologize for what I said. I shouldn't have said it. Just apologize. All right? And there'll be some residual shit. But I can tell you right now, if you're going to make a relationship work, when you're in the wrong, you have to apologize. You have to do that. Because if you don't apologize, if you always get your fucking back up, if you fight them every fucking step of the way, then you stop being a person to them. You're just this thing. You're just this loud, annoying fucking thing. Okay? But if you say you're sorry, if you say like, you know what, you're right, and blah, 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 the times when you actually are defending your position, you have clout because you've admitted that you were wrong when you were wrong. So, there you go. Now, I'm not saying she wasn't being a cunt. Okay? Now, that's the type of thing. If you want to say that, that's what you say when you got your one fucking buddy who, for the most part, can keep his fucking mouth shut. But even then, you can't depend on that. Okay? If you're ever going to call your woman a cunt, you fucking do it. You go for a drive. And you do it in your car by yourself. And you yell everything that you want to yell because she's not listening to you. You make all your fucking points. You fucking crush it. You give your closing argument to the invisible jury inside your car. And then in the end, you know, and if you actually stop for a second and listen to me, you'd understand that, but you can't because you're such a fucking cunt. Right? And then you look over, you know, at the other person sitting there at the red light with you. And if it's another guy, if it's me, I'm going to laugh, you know, not at you, but I'm going to laugh knowing what the fuck you're doing. And if it's a woman, she's probably going to laugh knowing what the fuck you're doing. Or if she's a cunt, she's going to fucking squint her eyes at her and be more of a cunt. There you go. So, yeah, I do not, nor would I ever do that. I would to my wife. I would never fucking do that. I wouldn't do that to any woman that I was in business with. I wouldn't do that with any fucking. I wouldn't do that in general. But generally speaking, when I talk about people, I kind of just call men cunts. I think it's funny to call a man a cunt. To call a woman a cunt is, it's just not funny. Calling a guy a cunt is fucking hilarious. And I stand by that. All right? Not saying that there's not cunts. God knows that word exists for a fucking reason. But it's just too fucking mean. And I'm telling you, you lose. You lose in the end. Because, you know, they could just make your life miserable. And every court of law, generally speaking, out there is going to side with them. And next thing you know, you will never play drums again because she's going to take them from you. All right? Not the fucking baby. Okay, that's the podcast for this week. God bless you. All right, you fucking cunts. Go fuck yourselves, and I will check in on you on Thursday.